Hi everybody, Nancy here. Today I'm going to show you how I drew this using ZoomNotes. I got this picture from Pinterest and I've got this thing sped up real bad, a lot. So I'll try to at least show some of the things that I did. Right now I'm just looking for a fill in my bucket to give it that watercolor look, and I found a pattern, and now I'm trying to decide what color to use. I used the eyedropper to pick it up from the actual image, and I started out too light and then I added a little bit, and that made it a little darker. So now I'm changing to the watercolor pen, and I used one that was saved, and I'm now trying to decide which one, how thick I need it to be and whatnot. And I went ahead and drew all of the things on the right, and now I'm selecting the parts and reducing the size of them just by moving my mouse across the preview at the bottom so that not all of the thickness is the same. Now that I think was an accident. I changed the opacity of that branch right there, and now I added a different color just following the line. Because this thing is watercolor and so loosey-goosey, I wasn't too concerned with perfection, and I just added that line back across the top. Now I am looking for another color to add over on the left side and put some branches over there. It's not exact, it's not the same, but I didn't really want it to be because I am copying, though. I mean, I'm not going to show it anywhere but here for you guys. It'll end up in this book and never be used again. I just didn't want y'all to think that today's drawing was a stick man. Okay, now I switch back to the watercolor brush, trying to get those pink hues in the background. And I'm just adding. Okay, now I switched over to black, and I changed the layer it was on so that the black black leaves are on a different layer. That way I can make modifications to it later if I need to. I put everything on a separate layer. The background tan colors on separate, then the brown branches going up are separate, and then the black. Now I'm switching it, and I wanted the black on top. I always want the black to be at the top so that anything I add to it is going to not cover up or take the sharpness of the black. Now I'm using the watercolor brush and just kind of tapping it on. And again, I used the eyedropper to pick up colors from the original. And I think I just moved. Yeah, I was checking to make sure the black was on top because that middle line disappeared. It must have been somewhere else on a different layer. And now I'm just adding some more color. There's the black line again. I drew it again. And just adjusting the color by doing the opacity lighter and darker. And stretching out some of the lines I just pulled to make them larger, and that kind of blends it better. Going to the next leaf, doing the same thing, just repeating the process, changing to a watercolor brush, picking up the color from the original, using the eyedropper, and you know, the beauty of watercolors, you don't have to be exact, and that's the truth in real watercolor. So I love ZoomNotes, and I just accidentally, I think, moved to the next page and went back. And again, just filling in the leaves. And yes, they're not perfect, but oh well, you know. I just like the colors of this original picture. And I thought it would be quick and easy to do here in ZoomNotes. Let's see. Okay, now I've started putting the white dots. And I started with the watercolor brush, and you see how it's kind of fuzzy. So I changed to a different brush, more of the solids, probably a marker instead of the watercolor, to make the white dots, just because it didn't need to be that fuzzy. Okay, now I'm just doubling up on the lines down at the bottom and placing them using the move tool and drawing some more lines with a brown color. It accidentally switched to, I must have tapped it, it switched to the erase there for a second. Moving that line back in place, it somehow got misplaced. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Oh, now I'm wanting to see how kind of rough the color is. I'm looking for a pattern like a grunge, that grunge texture for the bucket. Now I couldn't use the picture as is because, you know, when you use the bucket, it picks up by color. So now what I'm doing is turning off everything but the black lines and tapping and filling in those areas, and I don't have to fight the different patterns and textures and whatnot. So now that put that grungy looking fill on top of the painting that was already there. It's on a layer on its own again. Now I think I put it on the black layer because that's what I wanted it to be, is, you know, at the top. So I just made it a little bit grungy. Now I'm moving things and stretching things, and just to see if I can do it without having to redraw stuff. Like my leaf is not big enough on the left, but oh well, you know. Oops, I accidentally got out there. I don't know what that was. Now I don't know. Oh, I added another layer and I put close enough, exclamation. Now I'm just taking my picture and putting it on the corkboard with a tack so that it looks like I had that original image. I tilted it, I always tilt. And now I'm finding the shape so that I could put a shadow behind that picture. And that's it. Okay. Have a good one here. Bye.